Hey, everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Watch Your Lips.
Episode 13.
13.
Jacob Saldati
Hey, where do they follow us, Jeff? Cox?
at watcher_lips on Twitter and Instagram. And we're on all platforms, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. And this video will be up on YouTube. But welcome back, everybody. Today is a great day for me and the Fins because we signed Tyreek Hill today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. Did you notice?
How are the meetings?
What meetings?
What were contract negotiations like? We over here.
Hey,
I'm just playing with you.
we stay together. The Dolphins stay together. You want to talk about a faithful fan base? That's a faithful fan base.
What's the deal with the? There's no blowback from trying to pay off to lose the previous coach.
No.
That's all gone and forgotten.
It's all swept under the rug now. We got Tyreek Hill now, bro.
It's all good. That's not all the only additions they made. You also like the Edmonds pickup.
I love Edmonds. I love Mostert. I like Cedric Wilson. I love Terran Armstead. That's for damn sure.
I mean, Mostert,
because he's a monster.
when Mostert's on the field, but he's been off a lot more than he's been on.
Yeah. But Waddle and Hill are probably the fastest duo in the NFL now.
Okay.
So, anyway,
How?
we got Tyreek Hill, baby.
Anyway.
That's all I know.
Anyway.
And I'm good with it. I was shocked, as everybody else. I was really pissed when I saw that it was either going to be the Jets or the Dolphins. And I thought, fucking Jets, man. If they get Tyreek Hill.
What was the deal? What was the deal they made?
Well, they gave up 5 draft picks. 4 this year and then a first round next year. And made him the highest paid receiver in the history of the NFL. So, Tua, I've been a semi-believer.
Oh, no. Come on now.
No, this is true. I've been a semi-believer.
Today the semi came into the equation.
I've always said that, bro, he's accurate. I'm worried about the long ball. I'm not worried about the 8-yard outs, or the quick slants. Like he's nails at that. But going downfield, I don't know, man. We'll see. Because Tyreek
he's their guy this year, so it is what it is.
He is, and they've surrounded him with a ton of weaponry, and it's going to be an exciting season for the Dolphins, I think. It's going to be an exciting season for me, that's for sure.
How does that division shake up now?
Well, I think the Jets are the seller. They suck.
And then the Patriots third?
Yeah. I'm not a Mac Jones believer.
He's the truth.
No, corn dog, he is not the truth. We've established that. And I think the Patriots are going to have a down year. I think it was luck they made it to the playoffs this year. But their run is going to be over for a while because that AFC conference is a juggernaut.
Yes.
I mean, that's crazy, man, right? I mean, What the AFC is doing right now?
Yes.
But if I'm Tom Brady, I'm looking at the outside and going, my road's easy. I just got to get through one team. That's it.
The Rams?
The end. Yeah, and one AFC team. Because, being in the AFC, man, anybody can come out now. Really. We did our playoff predictions early, and we're going to go back to that in a few weeks.
We did our playoff predictions.
But I would like to point out, that I did say Miami was a bubble team. So
you're a fan. Of course they're a bubble team.
No, I said it wasn't a homer pick, but I'm going to
It's absolutely a homer pick.
No, it's not.
How do you figure it's not a homer pick?
I said Mike McDaniel's offense.
He's unproven.
He's pretty proven.
As a head coach, he's unproven.
Okay, that'll give you. But he's not unproven as an offensive mind.
Yeah, but he wasn't running the show. There was somebody controlling everything there.
You really think that?
Yeah.
So you think it was all Shanahan?
I think he micromanages maybe more than he's pretty meticulous, bro.
He is.
He likes things a certain way.
Sure.
That's
and I'm pretty sure McDaniel does too.
I'm not saying he's not going to be a good fit or bad. I'm not saying that.
Well,
I'm saying let's pump the brakes a little bit and
all
let's
signs
see.
point to yes, that he's going to be great. If this is any indication of what we have to look forward to in the future,
By moves,
yeah,
I'll agree with you.
he's spending money that he had. He's getting rid of draft capital we don't need.
Were you worried about them not making any moves?
I wasn't worried about them not making moves. I was worried about them not making splash moves. And getting Armstead and Hill in consecutive days is enormous.
And then the Chiefs also, did I see that correctly, that Tyrann Mathieu is gone too now?
I think he is gone.
To the Raiders?
Was that today?
I thought I saw that. You may want to look that up.
I don't know if he...
I thought I saw that. I don't know where you get your sources from. But
speaking of the Raiders, we'll go back to Tyrann Mathieu. But speaking of the Raiders, Davante Adams, go Dogs.
yeah,
The duo's back.
the day after we recorded the last episode,
It was the day
or was it
of.
day? It was that afternoon.
The day of.
That afternoon. You wanted me to turn back around.
I did, because we were talking off air
Yeah.
that it would be crazy if he went to the Raiders. And then, of course, we don't say it, right? I mean, we were just casually having that conversation of what if Carr and Adams...
You can go ahead and say where it sprouted, if you will. You can go ahead and say it. It's okay. I'm not going to be upset about it.
What, you brought that up?
Bing.
He didn't do it here. He didn't do it here.
And that's exactly...
So this is all bullshit.
That was
this guy.
That was your response.
This guy.
That was your response, too. Your response was, yeah, thank God you didn't say that on the podcast.
Thank God you didn't say that on the podcast.
That's what you said. Dickhead.
Hey,
go ahead.
But Davante Adams and Derek Carr are back. I'm excited as a Fresno State fan to see that duo again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably best duo in the history of Fresno State football.
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah, Bernard Berrien
And Carr
and his
was
brother,
good.
David Carr.
Yeah.
Really good.
Charlie Jones, and I believe, who was it at the time?
Well, and there
was
were
it Dilfer?
Yeah, and there were some way back when we had Henry Ellard and Stephon Page and Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, all on the same team.
Yeah.
So a lot of good receivers out of Fresno State, a lot of good quarterbacks, but Davante Adams to the Raiders, man.
I'm excited. I'm not a fan. I don't really have a team, and I've said it on Hit or Die. We kind of covered it a little bit.
Dude, I've hated the Raiders for years.
It's going to be easy to root for them a little bit.
But
maybe not for you.
No, but when Derek Carr went to the Raiders, it was really hard for me to root against the Raiders. And when we were growing up, there was no red zone. There was no Sunday ticket, right? I mean, that came out later when we were in high school and college. But you always got Raider games. You got Raider games and you got Niner games. And I remember watching the Raiders growing up, and I'm like, God, can they just not show the Raiders? And my dad's like, we're on the West Coast. They have to show the Raiders. That's what we're going to get. And I remember we'd just watch them to watch them lose. Seriously. And now, like, I find myself, if they're not playing the Dolphins, I'm rooting for them. And now that you got Adams and Carr there, dude, it's going to be exciting. For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I know a lot of people around here, dude. The Raider fan it's as passionate as the Bulldog fan.
Well,
and a lot of those Bulldog fans are Raider fans.
True.
And it's going to be, yeah, that's a big move. I just wondered like how much of the Valley's going to start going now. I'm sure they already go, but you know what I mean. Like,
oh yeah, I think they'll go more. But you know, we skimmed over the top of this, and you brought up that the Raiders really need a wide receiver.
Yeah, I just was totally off on, at that time, who was it going to be?
Yeah, and you didn't tell me.
Well, because everybody was waiting for Rodgers and you know, if Rodgers stays, I mean, Davante's staying. You know, he didn't want to play under the franchise tag, which I get, and you just didn't.
And we said we couldn't blame him then.
Everybody was just shocked. Nobody saw that happening. It's funny to think about now, like, because I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. And I think he gets a lot of shit, maybe unwarranted, and some of it is. Some of it's a little...
It's all warranted for the most part.
Prima donna-ish, you know, but
other than his personal choices.
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with football.
No, that's what I'm talking about. It's, as far as
Sure.
some of the theatrics within the game, it is what it is.
Yeah. But he pigeonholed himself.
Well, and I think that's what I was going to get into. Like,
greed took over.
Who's he going to throw the ball to?
Fuck, he's not going to throw. He has nobody to throw to because MVS is now, they're talking he may go to the Chiefs. Lazard was already a free agent. And if you're sitting there and Lazard's your only receiver, Green Bay Packer fans, especially Julie, who's been giving me a ton of shit lately.
Shout out,
so
Julie.
Good luck to you, Julie.
We love
and your
you,
Packers.
Julie.
We do love you. But
you know what's funny too is
probably going to be a long season.
The first thing that came out of this though was that he wasn't going to be a part of a rebuild, right?
Oh, he's definitely part of a rebuild
he is now,
pal. Yeah, no doubt.
He is now.
He is. But he's won without Adams before, and it is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's not accidentally an MVP 4 times. So I don't count the Green Bay Packers out. I put them in my NFL playoff prediction early that they're going to make the playoffs. I still think they do. The NFC is weak. But, man, they got to get somebody. And don't say it, Jake. Don't get Julio Jones.
He's still out there, folks.
Jake, you need to draft Julio Jones.
I will.
Because you talk about
I had him this year.
Good.
He was
Good.
cheap. He
You
came
can keep
cheap.
him. Keep him.
You don't think even if he was in as a fourth guy, as a fourth receiver, he doesn't play a difference? He doesn't help a team? Because I think you're wrong.
I don't think he sees very many targets.
Now, for fantasy purposes,
The problem is he's going to want money like he's a number 2 guy.
well, and that's not going to happen.
And I don't know who in the NFL is going to
You
spend
don't
that
get
kind of
released. You don't get released and then go get money you want. That's just not how. If one team finds, maybe some teams find value. That's fine. All teams are different. They look at their structure, culture, everything they do different. Everybody's different. But for the most part, I would think if you fired a guy because he wasn't performing, right, within our industries, right, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy's not getting it done and you cut him loose, chances are they're not going to get a whole bunch of opportunity unless there's a need.
Yeah.
Right.
I
and
don't
if
know
not, the
how
question's going to be asked, well, why did you get let go from one of the better spots?
Because you can't stay on the field.
I don't
That's
disagree.
why.
I don't disagree
That's
with you.
why.
I think for fantasy purposes, yeah, I'm with you.
I even think for, the NFL's sake,
I don't know, man.
like move on from Julio Jones,
I don't know.
man.
I don't know. I think if he comes in as again, you talk about the Raiders, right? He's probably the fourth guy, and that Raiders wideout.
They don't need him.
They don't.
Dude, Renfro, Waller.
They don't.
Adams.
What I'm saying is, though, is he brings another element that he could help a team. The Rams, right? They don't need anybody either. But I'm just saying.
How about a team like the Browns? You're going to get rid of Landry. You've got Cooper.
Yeah.
So you want to bring in.
I think he complements enough to help a team. Do I think he's a difference maker? No, he's not.
He's a serviceable veteran, is what he is.
As far as fantasy purposes go, I don't see. He's not going to be in your starting lineup.
No, never. In mine, especially, never.
I just don't think you can argue that he cannot potentially bring value to a team outside of fantasy. We're talking legit.
Sure.
I think
because
he helps.
he's a serviceable veteran. That's why.
And I think he can stay healthy. You don't know. Maybe he has a resurgence as a guy that plays above maybe the years he's in.
Yeah.
Dutch Bros, thank you.
Yeah, they don't know it yet, but they're going to sponsor the next 10 episodes. Riverwalk. If any of their employees are listening, we're looking for sponsorships. And if any of you are listening and you want to give us sponsorships, also, these hats, we're giving one away
to the winner
for the March Madness winner. And speaking of March Madness, it's way too early to drop heaters, but I'm going to drop heaters on the Kentucky Wildcats, the Iowa Hawkeyes, and the Auburn Tigers for absolutely shattering my bracket and most of everybody else's, but I will give some shout-outs, okay?
I think I don't think you can drop heaters on that.
I'm dropping a heater on all of them.
No,
especially Coach Cap, man.
No.
Like you can't keep doing this. Kentucky fans, They're fed up.
They deserve better
They do deserve better.
as far as results go.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about basketball, but I know the tournament format, and anybody can lose a game.
Oh, it's proven. I mean, this year
It's happened many years.
this has been one of the most exciting tournaments.
I agree. It's fun. I love it. I
Ever.
love it. And I don't pay enough attention during the season. I never have. But March Madness is always fun. It doesn't matter whether you're into basketball or not into basketball or know anything about basketball. I did the blind deal. I've been watching. I watched an entire game, bro.
That's good.
It's fun.
And you're tied for 20. You're tied for 26 right now, Jake.
And I'm 2 spots behind you. So relax.
No, I'm 21.
You're at the bottom of the barrel, 21. Look at the bracket. You want to see the bracket? I'll show you the bracket, Jeffrey.
Okay, listen.
No. Okay, listen. It's Jeffrey Cox, Cameron Evans, and then me.
But you're 26th, right?
Well, because there's
and
a tie.
how many
There's a
21s
tie.
are in front of me? Those are all ties, Jake.
That's what I'm saying. You're not that far ahead. Don't act like you're just blowing me out of the water. You're 21st.
All I know is I am ahead right now.
Larry Cabrera
Yeah.
is currently in the lead.
Lorenzo, I know you're listening from Houston, Texas, and let us know where your Spurs are pointing. But,
Shane Purcell, Alec Merton,
yeah, top 3.
Josh Labendera, all tied for first.
Labby's out, though.
Yeah.
He picked the Wildcats. He got hosed, too. I had him in the Final Four.
How many of your Final Four remain?
2.
I have 3. I'm going to beat you.
Who's your third? I know you have Arizona and Gonzaga.
And Villanova.
That might actually turn out to be in the Final Four, man.
So,
but there's a couple guys
and
that
I dropped
picked Villanova as champions. I know Randy Cargill and my buddy Carlos Nava, he picked Villanova to win.
So
Both of them
I
did.
still have Gonzaga to win.
They just about lost to Memphis. Penny Hardaway.
I'm not going to lie. I was hoping Arizona would lose just so it would mess up your bracket.
I knew what you were doing.
I
and they
asked
scared
you.
the shit out of me.
They should have lost. It
That TCU game was awesome.
was a great game.
Great game.
Should have lost. I was hoping that just for you. That's all. I only wanted to lose because you had them.
Well, according to the standings, I'm ahead of you right now. And
Come tomorrow, we'll see.
I mean, there's a lot of my friends in this, but the 2 that I like to beat the most are you and Burnsy, Kevin Burns. So I'm ahead of both of you, and I don't know if Burnsy can catch me. I hope to God he can't, because I'll never live that down.
I did it blind, Jeff.
But Shane Purcell, Alec Merton, and Larry Cabrera are all tied for first right now. All have 3 different champions. I think Larry has Arizona, Shane has Kansas, and Murdy has Gonzaga. So good luck to you guys.
And there's still plenty of people that are right there, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot that have been
C-Rod.
eliminated. He can't win either.
He does have Arizona. Brett Rosa.
He can't win either. Never mind. You know what? I want to beat all these guys. They're all my friends.
Darren Wright has Gonzaga.
He did not with a
C-Rod
blindfold
and
on,
Rosa.
too.
Does C-Rod and Rosa have Arizona?
Because Arizona's probably going to win the tournament.
So
I say that, and then here's what's going to happen, dude. They're going to lose in the Sweet 16.
I would be fine with it. I don't care.
I know you would. But anyway,
so
guys, thank you for participating in that.
Yeah, we had, 37 brackets filled out.
Yeah, and then we had some that
Didn't get finished.
Yeah.
There was over 40.
Logged in, and
Yeah, some of you didn't finish your bracket, but still, that was pretty cool to see some participation. Again, the hats, winner will get the hats. They will be for sale soon. I don't know when they're coming in, but there will be more coming in for purchase. Jeff, there was a lot more NFL news and moves being made. Again, Devontae Adams probably last week highlighted the biggest move, maybe the most shocking move, again, from the Packers to the Raiders for 2 first-round picks, which, who cares?
who's not going to give up 2
Who
first-round
cares?
picks for
Right?
Devontae
Like,
Adams,
with the
man?
lineup they have,
Yeah.
did it really cost the Raiders all that much?
No, it elevated the Raiders big time.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
and within this draft, and I know I've said this before, and again, I don't know enough about the players coming into the draft. Was there anything that popped off the page that said, "Man, the Raiders got to draft this," or do I give up that for Devontae? And that's an easy decision.
No, they're protecting Carr and they're giving him weapons. So they're investing in him, and I anticipate that he's going to get a longer deal again after this season because I think he's going to have the best season that he's ever had with the Raiders this year, and he had a damn good season this year.
Yeah, he did.
And he gets no love. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Fresno State homer. The dude threw for 4,600 yards last year.
Yeah.
He did have 14 picks, but, I mean,
you see a lot
I think he elevates big time.
The moves being made within free agency and trades. And I'm obviously there are some high-end free agents that were available, but also how much of that is that nobody's really high on this draft class.
Yeah,
you know, we made
some good DBs.
Sure, and you made the point on the phone the other day that that's where the draft has started to be more focused on is defensive backs.
Yeah, secondary.
I'm wondering if teams are just, you know what, they're finding their needs in free agency, in trades, and maybe we'll see what we get in the draft kind of thing.
Sure. The for sure splash O-line picks are always going to happen. Those top 5 lottery guys are always really good, but then it falls off and they need a year or two to get, really,
well, yeah, headlining running backs or headlining quarterbacks? There's nothing.
There's no Najee Harris in this draft.
No.
There's no juggernaut in this draft.
And so I think, a lot of teams made those, if you're coming into the draft, you look at the decisions that have been made from some teams, you're like, oh, shit. They filled their needs with.
Yeah, in free agency.
Guys that have been around. So it'll be interesting to see what teams do in the draft. But some other ones, I think the other big one happened over the weekend was Deshaun Watson, which we were together, I think, right? No, we weren't together. You were gone.
Yeah, but we touched on him on 12, and him going to the Browns, man, for that much money. Guys, I still think Amari Cooper is going there to die. Maybe Watson has a good year. Maybe he doesn't. I think Amari Cooper is going to Cleveland to die. Seriously. I know you were going to give me shit about that.
No, I wasn't.
Like, hey, do you still think that? And I do.
I'm not saying that. I don't.
Another injury risk, though, with him.
Just a little inconsistent. Again, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, I guess a little bit of both, honestly, fantasy production and just as it equates to the team. He wasn't real, but again, he wasn't real consistent with Dallas, but Dallas wasn't really consistent.
When their offense was clicking,
yes,
Amari Cooper's a big part of that offense.
Sure.
When they weren't, I'm going to quote AJ, a silent nobody. And, bro, you better not be haunting me with Tyreek Hill saying that he was a silent nobody because he's not going to be in Miami. Okay? But, honestly, Amari Cooper had tons of times where he was a silent nobody. And then he'll blow up and have 13 catches and 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. But
I think that was also some inconsistent play.
Yeah.
Inconsistent with Prescott, the running game for what they have at running back. It's just not it's a weird offense. And is that.
You're talking about Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking at Cleveland, though, you got a healthy Nick Chubb. You got a healthy Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
You got Amari Cooper. Landry's gone. Or he's going to be gone. And you got Watson. Can they win that division? I think it's still the Browns, and I don't think they will, just with Watson. But he does give them a hell of a better opportunity than Baker Mayfield does, who they denied a trade to. So now he's just stuck.
He is
right.
stuck.
And is that? Do you think that has anything to do with the 22 civil cases that are still out there? He got dropped. All the criminal charges got dropped, but just in case some shit happens and he gets suspended,
possibly
they want to have Mayfield in their back pocket.
Possibly.
So they're going to shackle him. And a guy like that,
is that not a smart business move though?
It is a smart business move, but you're also going to have a really disgruntled human being.
Or do you wait it out until somebody has a need that says, you know what, we don't have a choice. Baker's somebody, and if the Browns aren't going to get what they want out of the deal, they don't. You know, it's like
A lot of people are running out of options now.
well, and they don't need to get rid of him.
No, and they're not going to.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
So unless it's something worth our while, well, here's our backup. We're good. We're set.
Yeah, why do it?
We don't need to do anything.
I agree.
You saw Cooks go to the Titans.
Cooks. Woods.
Or Woods, I'm sorry. Woods.
Yeah, Woods.
Rams Woods to the Titans. Sorry.
Robert Woods. Yeah, and he got to pick that destination, by the way. I think he picked a good one.
Which means what for the Rams? You said this on the phone.
Well, they replaced him with Allen Robinson. So,
which means they're going to keep
Odell Beckham.
Or probably going to re-sign Beckham.
I think they will. I think they're going to do that, but I don't know if they will. I don't know how much money he's going to want. Honestly, because they kind of got Allen Robinson on the cheap. I think it was like a $47 million deal for 3 years. It's pretty cheap. When you look at some of these other guys going, he was a top-notch receiver. In 2020, he was in the top 8.
Woods is that's Corn Dog's boy.
He loves Woods.
Yeah, and then the Titans also added Austin Hooper.
Yeah,
which I think's he was just talking about his time in Cleveland. They paid him all that money, and he was just like, I was never I was never in the scheme. They just never fit me into the offense.
They had him block all the time.
And then what he did in Atlanta is what got him the money, and they didn't use him like Atlanta used him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that.
But that division, though, staying in that division, Matt Ryan, couple things I got on that.
To the Colts.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons are coming out and saying this is not a rebuild. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
watch your lips, Atlanta.
Yeah, responsibly, because
Gage is gone too.
Yeah, Gage is gone. Ridley is gone. He's suspended. You gonna bring Julio back?
Maybe.
He was disgruntled when he left.
Might be the only team that'll pay him some money.
Yeah, but I mean,
who's their quarterback? Oh, Mariota. That's right, Marcus Mariota. I don't know, man.
And here's the thing about this, man. This has been a wild March, right? For free agency,
it's
baseball,
literally
football.
March Madness.
It really is
across the board.
Yeah, and but Matt Ryan to the Colts, I find that very interesting. I'm a Matt Ryan fan. I like Matt Ryan. He's done nothing wrong, but keep Atlanta relevant up until the last few years when they started taking weapons away from him. Right? You trade Todd Gurley. You get rid of Julio Jones. Right after a Super Bowl run that your coaching staff lost. Matt Ryan didn't lose that game for you. He did everything that he could have done to win that game. He's smart. Like going to Indianapolis, okay, I think is going to be a huge upgrade for him. And I think it's going to be a huge upgrade for Michael Pittman. And Jonathan Taylor learning under him, great veteran leadership. I like the move for Matt Ryan. Marcus Mariota in Atlanta, dude, you weren't good in Tennessee. You went to another dumpster fire. You're not going to be good in Atlanta.
I don't think it matters. I think this is my opportunity to get back in the game.
Sure. And I don't blame the kid, but I'm saying I don't think there's going to be any kind of relevancy whatsoever in both fantasy or the NFL. I think Atlanta is at the bottom of that. What I fear is that Kyle Pitts is not going to have the year I thought he was going to have.
Yeah, he's not.
I think you got to downgrade him a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The things with Matt Ryan, one, I think it probably gives him a little new life, right? He's in the new toy, right? Like Brian said that, he's in a new city, a new team, a new fan base. I think they're excited to have him. And I know the new wave of the Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen and Watson and these guys that can move, and Lamar Jackson. These guys get beat up. Cam Newton. What I'm saying is these guys don't last. Go. You see these quarterbacks that have good running games, and how much it always has elevate the throwing game. And Matt Ryan having that running game, he didn't have a running game in Atlanta.
Dude, Matt Ryan's going to be really good in Indy.
I think so.
He's going to be really good in Indy.
It's going to elevate that offense. And going back to what you said about Pittman, I totally agree.
Yeah, because you have a legitimate chance right now, right out of the gate, to compete for the division title. You have Tennessee in your way, and that's it. Houston, forget about them. Jacksonville, forget about them. They both are horrible. And they keep making moves that make them even more horrible.
Yes.
So I like Matt Ryan. I like the move to Indy. You mentioned something about Garoppolo, right?
Is it an upgrade from Wentz to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? I agree.
Absolutely.
It's like they played this correctly. You know what I mean? They waited it out. They saw what was going to happen, and okay, let's go make a move.
But on that, I think Wentz will be fine.
I'm not.
With
Yeah,
the Commanders.
I agree.
I mean, another shitty division. You know? I mean, when you look across the NFC, you got the West that, I think is going to be really good. And I like the Vikings and the Packers, but
now, yes, you were going to say something about. So I don't think Matt Ryan was the Colts' first option, or definitely. I won't say definitely. It was as reported. Their only offer was to Matt Ryan. It wasn't reported, and I heard a rumor that Jimmy Garoppolo could have been a Colt as well.
Well, we talked about that a little bit.
The 49ers rejected the offer that was presented to them. I haven't gone any further other than reading about.
Don't quote you on this?
Don't quote me on that, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
The Niners turned down 2 second-round picks.
So is that watching your lips irresponsibly?
I'm pulling a Jeffrey Cox and covering my bases.
Okay.
So I can backpedal.
That's fair. That's fair.
2 second-round picks for Jimmy G was turned down.
Interesting. If that's true.
If it's true.
Because do you not believe in Trey Lance as much as we do?
That's what that tells me.
Yeah.
Because he's still got $25 million on the books this year. 26, whatever Jimmy G's contract. I think it's 25.
It's a lot of money.
For 2 second-round picks. If he's your guy, and you've heard, I think Joe Montana came out and said it, and it's like, he's not ready. Trey Lance is not ready. I don't know.
Joe Montana want to make a comeback like Tom Brady?
I don't know. But that two second-round picks for Jimmy G.
I would have done it. Why not? If you believe in Trey Lance, then get the 2 first-round picks.
But maybe the Niners feel like they can win now, or their best opportunity to win now is with Jimmy G.
I don't know. He just had shoulder surgery too. So,
I'm just saying maybe that played a role in their thinking.
But like I said, man, hopefully he's Henry Rowan Gardner after that, right? I don't know.
It's the big games, man. You just got to win in the big games. And so I read something. It was just an interesting take. It was a hypothetical that came up, and it was regarding quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody mentioned, well, maybe the Colts or another team tries to go scoop up Andrew Luck out of retirement, which I thought was interesting.
I love Andrew Luck, man. You want to talk about shocking? We were sitting at a fantasy football draft, and somebody had just drafted Andrew Luck. Thank God it wasn't me, because I always drafted Andrew Luck. And it came up on the screen. We had the Little League World Series on. And it came up on the titles, Andrew Luck retires.
It's crazy.
And we're giving the guy shit. We're like, dude, you just drafted Andrew Luck. He retired. And he's like 24, dude. He didn't retire. Like, no, he retired. But I think there's a guy that if he's still in football shape, he could help a team big time.
I love
Andrew Luck.
I don't think he's coming out of retirement.
No, I don't think he is either. But he also reminds me of a guy that could have put on about 50, by not staying in football shape.
He was on TV at the national championship game.
Was he?
Yeah, or one of the semi game. One of the games, he was on TV. He looked fine. He looked the same old guy, bearded out, stud. He was a stud at Stanford, great at Indy. I thought that was great. I loved the idea of it. It'd be,
yeah,
just he was good for the league.
Hey, way off not off subject, but kind of on subject. Do you remember Nathan Davis?
Yeah.
He looks exactly like Nathan Davis, dude.
It's his old
even the hairline.
Yeah, that is funny. I never put that
Nader,
together.
love you, bro, if you listen, but I've always thought of that.
So would you rather, Jeff? I'll bring these up from time to time, little would you rather game. Would you rather have Jimmy G or a
Dan Marino.
newly out of retirement Andrew Luck as your quarterback?
Andrew Luck.
Interesting.
Andrew Luck.
I probably would too. No offense, Niner Nation.
I mean, no offense at all. I'm saying Andrew Luck as a quarterback.
Would the
when he was
Niners
still
take
in the NFL.
an
they would
unretired?
dude, the Bang Bang Niner gang, if Andrew Luck came out of retirement, they would line up saying, yes, I want Andrew Luck.
Over Jimmy G.
Fuck, just to sign him. I mean, if he's coming out of retirement, you probably get him for cheap. And if he has any kind of the same attributes he had when he was playing, dude, you got to take Andrew Luck.
So all these moves, the Jameis Winston's going to stay in New Orleans, which I think was smart for them, honestly.
Very, very smart.
They got him not much money invested.
Well, the quarterback market is thin now.
And you can still use Taysom Hill relatively the same way. He's obviously not Drew Brees, but
there's not very many Drew Breeses.
I think if Jameis Winston can finally figure out how not to throw it to the other team, he's not awful.
No.
And he had a good start to his season last year until he got hurt. So, and I don't know what the deal with Michael Thomas coming back this year or what's going on there. I know his injury, week 6. And
I think Kamara's better with him under center than
Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. So we'll I don't know if there's any more splashes. I think today the news broke with your Miami Dolphins taking Tyreek, and what does that do to draft stock? Or let's fantasy stock. To fantasy stock owners, does the stock go up or does the stock go down?
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, as a fantasy draft pick, is his stock going to go up or down?
Neither.
You think it stays the same?
Yeah, he's gonna still put up numbers.
So if you had him at your fourth pick or fourth quarterback ranking, third or fourth, does he stay there?
In fantasy?
Yeah.
Kind of depends on the league. In any kind of super flex, two quarterback leagues, you're going to draft him early still, and you should.
So a standard league.
Standard league, 10-team.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers probably goes down maybe to, on my list, maybe 6. Not too far. I think I had him 4.
But what does that do to a Derek Carr's fantasy draft stock?
His goes up.
Right?
Yeah.
And does it jump Aaron Rodgers?
Good question. I think they're going to be similar.
Do you, as a fantasy player, take that risk?
I target Derek Carr a lot more than I have in the past. I'll tell you that.
I think in our league being a dynasty league,
who has Derek Carr?
You do, and I think you got him for $1.
For $1.
And his tier value is going to be very cheap.
Yeah.
And so you got to steal there.
I got him forever.
But I even think in standard leagues, like he could elevate himself to being.
Oh, he could be a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Not even a guy that you plug in during bye weeks.
And I'll be honest with you. I mean, if you have the strategy of you want to take quarterbacks really late, he's a guy I'd target.
And he's typically there.
Yeah.
I know in our leagues, he's always there. Yeah. And sticking with quarterbacks, Russell Wilson stock.
Oh, extremely elevated.
You think it goes up, even though he was probably a top 6 already, 5 or 6?
He's got a better running game.
You think it elevates to a top 3 maybe? Does he jump into that 4 spot? I still think it's Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert.
I think Mahomes. Yeah, it's Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Burrow. I think I'd put Burrow up 4 now.
So maybe it stays the same.
Maybe Rodgers 5.
Does it elevate? Does he jump maybe a potential spot of Aaron Rodgers?
I think he jumps.
I think
like
Aaron Rodgers'
stock.
stock. I think his stock. You think so?
Yeah, I think he jumps to Dak Prescott. At least for me, he does.
I agree with you.
Just because he's more mobile.
Even within the division now, that division's extremely tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking.
Dude, Russell Wilson, when he's healthy, is phenomenal. Because he can beat you with his legs, too.
And so Watson was the other guy. Do you think
his stock is elevated? Leaving Houston and going to Cleveland? I mean, they need to get him another weapon on the outside, but yeah, I think so.
Matt Ryan.
Way elevated.
And so we're talking about, and the reason why I wanted to do this is because we're talking about quarterbacks that we.
What about Tyreek Hill?
I think it's the same, if anything.
You think so?
I think so. I think he's going to complement well with Waddle.
And I hope you're right.
I mean, you look at the offense he was in, it's kind of shocking that he wasn't, AJ was right about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that you quoted that, and I hope he's not that in Miami. But I don't think his stock goes down. It depends, man. I mean, Tua's not Mahomes, so it could go down. I don't know.
No, I'll say this.
He did get paid, and it's not just a money move because we don't know what that offense is going to be.
It's a big money move,
absolutely,
man.
But I don't think they're going to be
Mahomes.
If you really think Miami's finishes second in that division, where's Kansas City going to finish this year? Is the writing on the wall? Did he know something that people don't know?
I said this last episode, Jake. I think they're going downhill.
They paid all their money. They did
look,
Packers,
dude,
right?
When Juju Smith is arguably your number one receiver right now, and McCole Hardman, who is your number two, potentially your number one, like, he's unproven, man. They haven't given him the ball enough. They signed Josh Gordon again, and he's probably going to get suspended for the 75th time within 2 weeks into the season.
They talk about when it's time to move on from somebody.
They got rid of Pringle, which I think was a bad move because you're getting rid of Hill and Pringle now. Bad move.
You could be right, man. I wonder what...
I think Tyreek Hill slightly goes down.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
And I hate to say that because
I don't think that's a knock.
No.
I think, but he still helps that team. He's still a value. It's super high. That team's now a contender.
That team, I think, is an immediate contender. Now,
so while we say his fantasy value may be.
But when I say that to our listeners, I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl.
You're already watching your lips.
I'm watching my lips, yes. But I think they contend in the AFC.
Okay.
What about Adams?
So Devontae Adams was the last one. I think I don't know how high, as far as we're talking fantasy, right? We're talking fantasy play. I keep him the same. He's still a first round pick.
I agree with that.
I don't think it. I don't know if it's going to be as significant as it was with the Packers, only because
he's got a supporting cast now.
Right. I think Renfro is one of Carr's guys, and Waller having a bounce back, hopefully.
Yeah.
That offense is going to be outstanding. Has the potential to be. What does he do as far as fantasy purposes go? I don't take the risk in not taking him in the first round, depending on my draft slot.
I'm taking Adams in the first round.
You have
I'm probably taking Hill in the second round, though.
You think he makes it that far?
Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
I think he should.
He's usually a late first round guy.
I'm taking
anyways.
Jefferson before him.
Yeah. Well, you said
and
that
I'm
already.
taking Kupp before him. So,
are you on Jamar Chase before him?
I'd have to go back and look where I had Chase. I think I had them neck and neck. I'd probably give Chase an edge over Hill.
And so I guess it is fair to say maybe his draft stock in fantasy does go down a little bit.
I think it does go down a little bit, but not much. Tyreek Hill's not going to be a silent nobody in Miami because they're going to scheme for him. Like it's not going to be a George Kittle situation in Mike McDaniel's offense. He's a skilled player that when you get him the ball, he makes plays. Mike McDaniel's not stupid. He's going to get him the ball. So I think he's going to have more receptions. His yards after the catch are huge. They always have been. I think those are still going to be there. I think his yards go up. I think his touchdown efficiency goes down.
Possibly.
So from a fantasy perspective, I think you're going to see less touchdowns. I think you're going to see the same amount of yards, and you're going to see a little bit more receptions. So he's going to be in that 100 reception mark. Now, Waddle, I think, takes a little bit of a notch down. I mean, he had a humongous rookie campaign.
He finished.
He's over 100 receptions.
Yeah, he finished really well, too.
Does he finish with 85, maybe 92 receptions, somewhere around in there? That's kind of, to me, that's about where I think he's going to be.
Obviously going into his rookie year, if you got him late, that was great for you.
Yeah.
If you're in a keeper league, I'm sure maybe he's a keeper to some. I don't know. But now he's not drafted late.
Yeah.
So I think his stock goes up. I don't pick him early.
Waddle?
Yeah.
He's a fourth-round guy.
Yeah. But I mean, not last year is what I'm saying.
No.
So his stock definitely rises.
No, I wish I would have had more stock in
The
him.
production that you anticipate maybe you before Hill came goes down.
Yeah, I made the mistake where, and I'll be honest, like I made the mistake with, I had a lot of opportunities where it was either pick Amari Cooper or Jalen Waddle in like 4 drafts. And I took Waddle in 1 and Cooper in 3, and I was wishing I didn't.
Yeah, that was my biggest regret.
And I won the league that I had Waddle in. And I didn't even make the playoffs in the other 3.
That's my biggest regret was dropping him. So, but I had to make room. It was early in the season. We don't need to get into it. But I did drop him.
Well, we are going to have a phone call.
Yeah, we got our first caller.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we're going to get Mike Conklin on the phone.
So, and if you guys want to do this, please just send us a message. We're totally down to get the audience involved. We're going to get to a call here. First one ever on Watch Your Lips. And we're going to close it out after that with some heaters. So stick around. We'll be right back and have our first caller of the podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We've got our first caller. Mike Conklin is on the phone with us. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
No problem, man. Anytime.
What can we do for you, Mike? What do you got? Well, so you got you're a Raider fan, apparently, yes?
Yes, I'm a Raiders fan.
So
yep.
You just got to love the news from last week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how couldn't you? As a Raiders fan, how couldn't you love that number 17 was coming to Vegas?
100%. I'm not a Raider fan, and I was excited.
Us too, man. I mean, we're
right.
Dogs fans, so to see the duo back, we hit on it a little bit earlier, but it's going to be an exciting year for sure.
Oh, I mean, to see them two connecting again, you know?
Yeah.
In the NFL this time, it's going to be amazing.
I agree, man. So what's your take on the AFC West? Do you, and not being biased, do you think the Raiders have a legitimate shot to win this division?
Absolutely, all bias aside. Now, yeah, I do. I really do. I think they do. Personally, I think the AFC West, all teams are going to have winning records this year. And I think you touched on it the other day, Jeff. I think they might all 4 make the playoffs, personally.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all.
That's not far-fetched at all.
The Chargers are going to stand in our way. And I was thinking the Chiefs, and then they just tore their offense apart today. So
thank God they did.
Yeah, I mean,
thankfully. We've got the speed demon now, buddy.
Yeah.
Fins up.
Well, it's another scenario where they paid Kelsey pretty well, but they gave one guy a lot of money.
They did. And, you know, I don't like the me attitude. Aaron Rodgers pulled it in Green Bay. He got his money, and now they can't afford to pay anybody else. And apparently Tyreek Hill turned down a contract in Kansas City. To me, that's, you know, pay me and screw everybody else. You know, I don't like that, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
They
now,
did
wait a
give
second.
Mahomes
Hold on.
a lot of money, though.
Hold on a second. Hold on, because there was talk that the Packers did offer the same deal to Devontae.
But see, Devontae wasn't worried about the money when he said no to the Packers. He wanted to come to Vegas and play with his old partner.
So do you think they were scheming, Mike?
Who, the Raiders?
Yeah. Do you think Carr and Adams were scheming to try to get him to lure him to Las Vegas?
Absolutely, I do. And I say that based off of Carr's tweet. What was it, this year or last year? When he said, come to Vegas and I'll buy you any car you want, for one. And then, 3 weeks ago, Devontae Adams buys that house in Vegas? Absolutely. Most definitely scheming for him to be over here.
Nice.
I really would like to know. I would have loved to seen Aaron Rodgers' reaction when he got the news.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's sitting on his couch crying right now, eating a bucket of popcorn. I don't know.
Either that or he's swimming in gold coins.
Well, I mean, I don't think he cares, you know? He's got all the money.
I don't think the Packers did either. I mean,
if they cared enough, here's my take.
They'd let him go.
They wouldn't have franchise tagged Adams. They would have talked to both of them and sat them down and said, "Hey, here's the amount of money that we have. What's it going to take to keep both you guys?"
That helps the cap space.
Yeah. Do you both want to stay?
And then if not, I would have pursued interest in Rodgers. Whoever had interest.
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
No, go ahead. No, you're good, man. Go. This is your time, not ours.
You look at Derek Carr and Tom Brady. Both of them, and I don't know if any other quarterback has ever done this, or any other player for that matter, but both of them were willing to take less money so the teams can build around them. So, yeah, the Packers organization should have sat down with both of them and said, hey, this is what we're willing to do. What can we do to keep you both here?
And it worked well for Brady. 7 rings.
It worked well for Brady, and it's worked well for Carr for 7 years.
And people think it just comes down to skill players, skill positions. Like, look at Brady's offensive line that he had for a decade.
Exactly.
Put your money. Yep. If you can protect me, I can play longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Look what happened. Look at Carr's brother.
Well, the other thing, Mike, I had for you, Chandler Jones. You got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones now. You got to be pretty happy about that. I mean, they're putting all these quarterbacks in the West. You guys are going to, chase. They're going to be running for their life.
Well, when the Broncos traded for Wilson, I was scared. I was scared for the Raiders because everybody was talking and hyping up that trade, saying how Derek Carr's really got to step up. And I was like, man, what are the Raiders going to do? What kind of splash they're going to make? Then they get they trade Yannick Ngakoue, and I was like, oh, no, what are you guys doing? They let go of Carl Nassib. Then I was like, okay, he didn't really play much last year, didn't do much last year. Mm-hmm. And then they get Chandler Jones and Rock Ya-Sin. And I was like, oh, okay, here they go. They're going to start moving. And then, 2 days later, Davante Adams. And I was like, oh, now we're back in the game.
Yeah.
So if they protect Carr and give him the time he needs now, I think for sure he'll make an MVP run. I'm almost guaranteed to bet.
Well, he almost did it once, and then he got hurt.
And he still almost won that battle. I think he finished 3rd or 4th that year.
Yeah, exactly. So you had you said you wanted to drop a heater for the audience, right?
Well, yeah, it was just on the Packers and the Chiefs organization. Not willing to keep their star players, and that was, and Jake for having Prescott over Carr in the top 10.
How'd boy drop a heater on Jakey? I love it, man.
I don't agree with it.
I do it every day.
What has Prescott done more that Carr hasn't? I think really Carr's better than Prescott, to be honest with you, Jake.
That's a fair take, and I will take it from a Raiders fan who's biased. But also those comments were made prior to any moves being made. Mark Cooper was still in Dallas.
It's true.
Wilson was still in Dallas.
True.
And Davante was still in Green Bay. And all the other guys that we mentioned were still on their respective teams.
I would have still made that. I would have still dropped that heater without those moves being made. Carr is better than Prescott no matter what, in my eyes. And that's not a biased opinion.
What team do you root for?
I root for the Raiders. You're right. And you have every right to say it's a biased opinion. But
you're going to have to go back and watch this video, Mike.
No. We'll just have to agree to listen, I love Carr. I felt like Dak Prescott is surrounded by more, and that elevates his play.
Here.
Obviously, he did not have a great season. He didn't. Nobody can argue that he did. Okay. And Carr had a fantastic season.
Sure.
It's fair. That's why I said that. As soon as you said that, I said that is a fair statement.
But I'll be the mediator on this.
But
for you guys?
Before the moves were made, was I under the impression that Carr was going to repeat that? I don't know. Okay. It's still questionable. Right. And if Waller bounces back, maybe. That's why I made that. That's why I had them where I had them. That's all.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But I don't disagree with what you're saying, especially now moving forward. We just talked about draft stocks. Derek Carr is shot way the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the other thing is, and as far as the NFL goes, I think there's more value in Derek Carr than there is Dak Prescott. I don't think Dallas is going to make any kind of run anytime soon, but I think the Raiders are making the right plays to make a good run. But in fantasy, and I know you're a fantasy player, Mike, I still believe that Dak Prescott has more value going into the season than Derek Carr does. Now, he does elevate quite a bit with Devontae Adams. So we just talked about it before we got you on, that I think you have to plug up Derek Carr in your top 10, and I think he finishes in the top 10 this year, but I think Prescott does as well, and I don't think they're going to be too far apart. So
I think with that statement right there, I think I can agree with that. His fantasy value is a little better than Carr's, and it has been. And don't get me wrong, I like Dak Prescott, but
well, I hate the Cowboys, man. I hate the Cowboys.
We all hate the Cowboys. I never voted for them to be America's favorite team, but hey,
we got to find the origin. Where did that start at? I don't even remember where that came from. I mean,
I'm not sure where that came from.
Who knows and who cares?
I'm seeing stuff now with Tyrann Mathieu being looked at. People are saying Tyreek Hill's now that he's in Miami is saying, "Hey, bring him into Miami."
Yeah.
I also saw some people talking about him going to the Raiders as well.
Well, him and Stephon Gilmore, but I think the Gilmore rumors are pausing in light of Tyrann Mathieu. So
let's bring them all to Miami. Let's bring everybody to Miami.
I'd rather see the Raiders win, Jeff.
I got to ask you a question, and this is all out of respect to my buddy sitting across from me here. Do you know any other Miami Dolphins fans other than Jeff?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I know a diehard Miami Dolphins fan.
More than Jeff?
I don't know about more than Jeff, but he's been a Dolphins fan for a long time. He's even got the Dolphins tattooed logo.
Jeff doesn't have that
on the side of his head.
No, Jeff doesn't have that. This guy wins.
Well,
he's
really up there, definitely.
If you're willing to put a tattoo on your body of your team.
Did you say it's on his head, Mike?
He's got it on his side of his head, yes.
Coxie.
Dude, I got to give it to the guy. I love the Dolphins more than anybody I've ever met, but I'd like to meet your friend someday.
Yeah, we could set that up.
But, Mike, we appreciate you coming on, man. We're going to have you on again. Thanks for following us and staying interactive with us. We appreciate it, man. And I know you're on the road, so stay safe out there, all right, buddy?
I will, Jeff. Hey, and just so you guys know, I've never been a huge podcast fan until this one came out.
Let's go.
And I am absolutely in love with it. So
we appreciate it, man.
I wanted to throw out there my condolences, my thoughts and prayers are with you and AJ's family, everybody.
Appreciate that, man.
So, thank you, Mike.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You're a good man. We'll see you, buddy. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, good dude right there, man.
Our first Watch Your Lips. I got a feeling that we shouted her out. Julie
is going to call in too.
May have to call in.
No, she's going to call in when the Packers
because we can't
anybody.
Talk about her and her team. We can't talk about people in their team and not give them the opportunity.
No, we can talk about people in their team when she's slamming me on Instagram. So we're going to slam her
Jeff,
on air.
You deserve to be. But she can't defend herself here. Until she's on.
She'll defend herself on Instagram as soon as we get off. Trust me.
Well, I love you, Julie.
So do I.
Jeff, do we have some heaters? I know there's a lot of football stuff going on, and there's going to be more to come. We haven't even talked about baseball fantasy stuff.
No, and we need to get in a couple signings though. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it here.
Your boy. Jake's a Braves fan.
Yeah, and if you want to go, we touched on it a little bit on Hit or Die.
I got him where I can.
Hit or Die podcast. Go check it out. Hit or Die podcast. You know what, Jeff? It hurt. It was hard because who doesn't like Freddie Freeman? You're not a Braves fan, but I can guarantee you that you are a Freddie Freeman fan.
Of course.
So him being on your team.
I'm not anymore.
Okay, when Baumgartner got traded, I'm sure that was a rough.
That was brutal.
To see Lincecum go, to see Wilson go, to see now Posey's not going to another team, but to see your guys go that are your captains, that are your leaders in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that win World Series championships just like Freeman did.
Well, and the guy, was there when it was bad in the rebuild. You know, he was a part of all that. He came up a
the
Brave.
Nucleus, man. He was the core.
So, that perspective, it was difficult. It was hard. You know, I'm a fan, and but at the business side of it, I see what the Braves. I get it. I don't hate them for it.
No, it was actually a smart move.
It was a very smart move. And when you're talking about that kind of stuff, you've got a GM who cares about the future of the franchise. And that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah, you've got a young superstar, man.
Not
you just
that
signed.
Freddie Freeman doesn't have a future, but he is going to be 33. A 6-year deal puts him 39, pushing 40. And while he can still flat rake, how many are you going to get 6 years of production? They're betting that there weren't.
And I think it's a good bet.
And Matt Olson's 3 years younger, and you've already got a very young roster with not a lot of moving parts. There's guys that are a couple years from free agency. You've got some contracts that are still in tune for the next couple. Like the Braves are still a contender now. Their bullpen is the same.
Yeah.
They all come back. They added Kenley Jansen, which I don't know how they're going to use him, but I'll take it.
See, I was sad to see that because as a Giant fan, I loved having Kenley Jansen come in the ninth.
I will say he had an excellent 2021. I don't think anybody can argue.
No,
they did not expect Kenley Jansen to do what he did.
Right.
And Freddie didn't get exactly what he wanted from the Dodgers. He got a little less. He got the years he wanted. Every time I talk about it, it comes back, but it's Freddie Freeman. You know, every time I said this on Hit or Die, it always comes back to that.
Well, it's almost like trading Chipper Jones, right?
Yeah, that's
For
what it
Braves
was.
fans, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I appreciate
Tough swallow, though.
I appreciate what they're trying to do. This not a short-term deal they're trying to make.
No, they're
trying
looking
to
at the future, and
I
they
mean,
just won a World Series, man.
There was interest in Carlos Correa. Like, imagine that move.
Yeah, that would have been huge.
Are you 26-year-old?
Yeah.
You lock him in and maybe with this contract with the Twins?
Yeah. Well,
which I thought was really weird. How bad is it in Houston for you to take that deal to go to Minnesota?
Yeah.
And he came out and said that Houston didn't even offer him since the lockout.
Yeah, no conversations.
So
that's insane. You're not even going to talk to Carlos Correa?
He did turn down $160 million, I think, before the lockout for 5 or 6 years. And I'm here. Was it a 2-year opt out at Minnesota, or is it every year? He can opt out after year one.
I think he can opt out after year one.
And he's making like 35 million somewhere in there.
Crazy.
So maybe that's something potential you could see down the road.
Yeah.
There's going to be needs. There's going to be more free agency talk in the years to come. Maybe it doesn't work out in New York with certain guys. You know, again, Atlanta was on the list. And I think the other one was Trevor Story going to the Red Sox, which I love because he's going to move and I think play second base.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of moving parts right now in the NFL
March
and
Madness,
MLB.
bro.
March Madness. Yeah. We're going to get to some heaters, though, Jake.
Yeah.
You said you had a couple today? Well, Mikey, he dropped a heater on the Chiefs and the Packers organizations, I think, as a whole, right?
Yeah. Listen, to that phone call real quick, like, did he not end up?
No, he agreed with me.
Which is exactly, you said what I said. So why am I the asshole now?
No, you're not.
Why,
if you know Mike, he's like the nicest man in the world, man.
Of course, I'm sure he is.
But he is one biased freaking Raider
I just
fan.
thought it was funny that you ended up saying what I said a couple weeks ago, and he agreed with you.
Yes.
Maybe it's just because you know each other on a person. Mike, thanks for the call, though, seriously. And anybody else that wants to get in, please message us. We can try to fit in one or two when we
got
can.
A couple calls lined up, but
Jeff heaters.
I have heaters, yeah. You got one?
Where do you want to start? Well, you know what? You want to save the one because we both had some points on the one.
Yeah, the big heater.
White House officials say U.S. has exhausted funds to buy potential fourth vaccine dose for all Americans. Let me say it again. White House officials, White House officials say U.S. has exhausted funds to buy potential fourth vaccine dose for all Americans. The Biden administration lacks funds to purchase a potential fourth coronavirus vaccine dose for everyone, even as other countries place their own orders and potentially move ahead of the United States in line, administration officials said Monday.
So what is that related to? I mean, so now it comes down to funds and not your health.
Well, yeah, basically is what they're saying. And so the quote was, right now we don't have enough money for fourth doses if they called for.
Well, what do you think on that?
How do you not have enough money? Didn't we just pass the biggest infrastructure bill in the history of the United States?
Well, if we get into politics,
I don't care.
I'm just saying
this isn't politics. This is everybody. This is for everybody.
It comes down to mismanagement. That's what it is. It's all mismanagement. And then, how do you run out of funds for something that you're mandating?
We don't have enough funding if we need a variant specific vaccine in the future. So we have not planned for the possibility of something like this occurring again.
No, everything is happening on the fly.
So
this whole
regardless of affiliation is what I'm saying. I don't care what side you're on.
Yeah.
If it was the other side, it would still be a heater.
Yeah. It's a great heater.
How now speaking with affiliation, I will say that the people in office said they would never take it 2 years ago. Ever. Then they made it a must. And now we're saying we can't afford anymore.
Well, you can't push the narrative that you've been pushing and then not have any funds to back it. Right?
Did we not?
Dude, this got down into the public school sector.
And I'm all for helping other countries, right?
That's fine.
What are we sending overseas right now to help? A lot, right?
Yeah.
We've exhausted funds. This is from the Washington Post.
It's mismanagement is what it is.
And then the other part, the second part to this is, and I said it 1, 2, 3, fourth vaccine dose?
Yeah.
We had 4 of them?
Because
4?
You know what? I'm not even going to watch my lips.
4?
I'm going to be honest.
Jeff, 4. Okay. 4 of these things? 4. What is this?
Because you can't get a vaccine for every single mutation. And that's what you're trying to do. You got vaccinated for COVID-19. You didn't get vaccinated for Delta and
Is there a
Omicron.
test? Is there a test for Delta though?
What this is going to be?
Is there a test? Is there a specific?
That's a great question.
Is there
Jake.
a test for the other one? Do they have a test for these? How do we even know? Like, there's no test. They're all the same fucking tests.
Exactly, and they've been the same test from day one.
There's no Delta test.
The one that we couldn't get, remember, and now we have an unlimited supply.
Well, and it was $125 to get a rapid test.
And now you can go to 4 of them.
Go to CVS and get it for $15.
Yeah, and I was fucking negative every time. It cost me $600.
Good. These are all facts, right? Washington Post is credible. Yeah, I don't know what side they lean on. I know everybody's news outlets lean in one way or the other.
You know what? It's a personal choice, and if you've got the vaccine,
how effective is it?
If you haven't got the vaccine, I personally don't give a shit.
I don't either.
And a lot of people care whether you got it or you didn't get it. Why the fuck do you care if I have the vaccine or I don't?
Did you get your 4th vaccine dose? What the 4?
To be honest, I didn't get my first.
We don't make people get their driving tests 4 times in 1 year.
Right.
Like, we should do that.
But did
you should have to pass 4 driver's tests.
Well, you got the vaccine.
I did.
Right, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I had COVID before it was COVID. Before anybody knew it was COVID.
But you can't say that because people, it's bullshit.
Well, when I went to urgent care, they said that, I had influenza B. They didn't give me any tests. They didn't give me shit. I got a really hard antibiotic, a steroid, and they gave me Tamiflu. And I was good in 3 days, right? But I was sicker than shit for those 3 days.
Yeah.
So I know I had it. 2 months later, the country's getting shut down. You know, we're getting locked down. So,
and we're still paying the price for it, by the way.
Okay, you said you got it.
Yeah, I did.
Right? Did you get the booster too?
No. Well, here's what happened. When the boosters came out, and this was just a few months ago, Jeff. Okay, I got mine in June, my first vaccine shot.
Okay.
And a few months later, maybe 5 months later, the boosters came out for the vaccine that I got. Johnson & Johnson, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was good for like 2 months. 2 months. I mean, my vitamin B shot is 30 days. So you had to be 2 months after your initial dose, you could get a booster. And I thought, well, that's insane. So basically this is not effective at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and whether it is or it isn't, you know, people that have the vaccine and don't have the vaccine, you're still getting it.
Well, you still have to take care of yourself.
Yeah. You
still have to be precautious. You still have to wash your hands.
Sure, all the shit that you should have been doing before COVID-19 came out.
And whether you got all 4, I don't care. Good.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel safer and comfortable, hell yes, then do it.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
I have nothing to say.
And on the flip side of that is if you feel so strongly that you don't want to get it, don't get it. And don't get it out of people telling you have to get it because you don't have to get it.
That is your right. And you were born with the right for that. That's why I didn't like the mandate.
And you know what? They like when people found out, and some people, they're like, well, you don't have it? No, I don't have it. Well, you don't care about us? And I'm like, and these are people that have known me for a very, very long time. And I'm like, you really think that that's the reason I didn't get it is because I don't care about you? Of course I care about you, Jake. But I have my own views. And I have my own reasons. And it doesn't fucking matter why I choose to do what I do. Because it's my choice. And as it is yours.
If I choose to be mad at you about that and not talk to you anymore, that's not because of you. That's because of me.
Yeah.
That's because I think differently and fuck you.
And you'd probably defriend me on Facebook and, you know, not support Joe Rogan anymore and all those good things too.
So, but that's what's funny.
So I'm not watching my lips on this, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's whatever.
Not trying to offend anybody, but for me, it was a choice that I made.
I don't think anybody is offended.
Probably not.
Whether they're for or against, it doesn't matter.
Right. But anyway, good heater.
So
for sure. This one's kind of a weird one, but I was looking at this today. It came over my phone. Do you remember, like on TikTok and all the cinnamon challenge? When everybody was like, eating spoonfuls of cinnamon and shit.
There's a bunch of them. They got a bunch of
burning their sinuses and all this. Well, now there's this Orbeez challenge.
Orbeez.
Yeah, that they shoot out of the gun. It's like little gelled.
It's like a candy
balls.
Or what?
No, it's like airsoft.
Okay. Oh yeah.
But they're like a gel cap little thing they put in these guns and they're shooting them, but they're targeting like kids. Kids are targeting delivery people like UPS. So Darren, right.
watch your lips.
Yeah, watch your lips. Like
that is insane.
Yeah. And a guy got shot in the glasses, broke both of his glasses, hit him in the neck, and he was hospitalized. So the new challenge is this Orbeez challenge on TikTok targeting service people. And
man, that's ridiculous.
At pretty short range too. So I'm dropping a heater on the Orbeez challenge. Quit doing that shit. That's just dumb. You know, when we were kids, we'd get up on the roof and like throw little pebbles at cars and then watch them stop and then go, oh shit, they stopped. You know, like what are we going to do?
Scared.
Climb down and not answer the door.
No, this is ridiculous. Some of the stuff I see on there is just stupid. These challenges got to go.
Yeah, they need to go. So dropping a heater on the Orbeez challenge.
Yeah, 100. Good one. Yeah, I didn't see that. I think we'll end with this one. We're going to go back and revisit.
Well, I got a real small one before we go to this one.
Go ahead.
For those of you that live in the Central Valley of California, I'm dropping a heater on the Highway 99 construction because I've been on the Highway 99.
And like Modesto, Stockton, or whatever.
Dude, Merced, Atwater. We were talking about going down an ice chute. This is going down, dude. The medians are like this, right? And if you I have a big truck, you do too.
Yeah.
Like, dude, your mirrors are almost like pushing the median, right? Damn,
they've been working
dude.
on it for the last decade.
Yeah, finish the construction already.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Mr. Frazier, if you've got any pull at all,
let's get something.
Get in on that.
That's funny.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, we both kind of agreed on this, and again, I Leah Thomas last week won the a national championship. I believe I forget the event, 500
freestyle.
Yeah. And again, I don't care what your life choices are, or what how you want to live. That's none of my business. This is based purely on athletics.
Yeah. And we were asked specifically to hit this again too
by a few people. And I mean, that's not why we all obviously have our own opinions on it too. And actually planned on talking about it last time. It just so happened that
she won a national championship.
Yeah. So it was obviously an issue. There was an article that came out though, I believe today, and I'm not sure I pronounced her name correctly. Her name was Cheryl Cookie. Cookie?
Probably Kooky.
Kooky?
I haven't read the article. Go ahead, though.
Professor at Purdue University. Anyways, this controversy came to an apex last week at the NCAA championship when she became the first openly trans athlete to win a Division I championship in any sport. For anyone who cares about the advancement of sports, and women's sports in particular, her win should be celebrated. And I went back to the picture that was posted. Those girls in that picture certainly didn't celebrate that.
No.
And not only that, I saw another thing that the girl that should have been 9th didn't even get to compete because Leah Thomas was in that spot.
Well,
now again,
I've got some thoughts on that, but I want to.
But to that statement,
but I want to quote something, okay?
Go ahead.
Because Caitlyn Jenner has come out and really pushed back on this, right? And she tweeted, "It's not transphobic or anti-trans; it's common sense." Okay, so people that are saying, "Well, you don't want her to compete because she's transphobic or she's transgender," well, you're transphobic then. He's saying, no, it's a common sense thing. A biological man should not compete against a biological woman, especially when it comes down to the NCAA national championship. Very vocal on this. Okay? And also said, in quotes, Leah Thomas is not the rightful women's champ. That's coming from Caitlyn Jenner herself.
So you say bio. I want to read another part of this article because it kind of ties into what you're saying. She followed with women's sports are situated at a paradoxical intersection wherein sex segregation is upheld through claims of biological difference. And you mentioned, and was it Caitlyn Jenner again that said, this person was born with different genetics.
Yeah. And she said that Leah Thomas has bigger hands, bigger respiratory, which in swimming is huge.
Yeah.
Right? And biologically is just stronger than these women that she's competing against.
Well, she smoked 2 Olympic silver medalists.
Well, yeah. And the Florida governor came out also in like really backlashing this and saying that, declared Emma Weyant, the University of Virginia freshman, the NCAA champion. She's a freshman. She lost by 1.75 seconds as a freshman. Okay. You competed 3 years as a male.
Well, in college.
Yeah.
How many years before that?
that's the other thing that Caitlyn Jenner was saying, is you have went your entire life competing as a male. And now...
And I know the rules that the NCAA passed, about a decade ago involved, stuff involving testosterone. They had to be on so much stuff. It was like for a year.
Yeah, they said you hormone testing for a year, right?
I mean, is that enough to...
Well, and then, we talked on 8, like the Title IX, how are you going to rewrite this? Dude, social media is in an uproar over this.
And it's not, there is no gray area. There's either, like you're saying, you're transphobic, piece of shit.
Right.
Or you think this is the greatest thing to happen to college athletics.
Yeah, there's really no middle ground.
To me, that's kind of insane, but that's also the world we kind of live in now.
True.
Which is, to me, it's been by design. But that's another topic for another day.
Well,
I feel like, again, this is purely based on athletics. 100%.
Yeah.
I do not care that he identifies as a woman and I'm sorry that this person felt this for so long and didn't do it earlier.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't to live that way. I have sympathy for that, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not an asshole.
So do I.
But based on athletics and like scholarship opportunities,
it's unfair, dude.
It's not like to compete 3 years in college to then finish as a different gender. Like within there, you need to change the rule. If this is what you sign your intent as, this is where you compete.
Here's the thing: you weren't even average when you were identifying as a male. You weren't even average when you were competing, and now you're elite at the top of the class, right? Upper echelon. When she's competing as a woman,
and so again,
dude. And we said it on 8. It's a fairness debate. But here's the thing that bothers me the most now, and that I've thought about since we did that episode. I've got 2 daughters. They both compete in athletics. I would be pissed, and I would have a lot of feelings if my daughter was Emma Weyant.
Well, there was some statements made about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, think about it as a dad, right? Your daughter has worked her entire life.
And make no mistake
to be
about
an
it.
NCAA national champion. This isn't just some, swim meet. It's not. So to compete your entire life, and then to lose here because of an unfair advantage is bullshit.
Yeah, listen, I don't even...
And it should be called bullshit. And again, I'm not transphobic. I'm not anti-trans. I don't give a shit how you identify because it doesn't affect me. But when it affects everything else, and when you're competing for a national championship, that is a major, major, major problem.
Yeah, and it
needs to be fixed now.
I don't even know if I would identify this. I don't know another way to say it as a Leah Thomas issue. She's at the center of it.
She's brought it to a head,
but she didn't break any rules, right? It's not even a Leah Thomas issue. Think about it this way: if males decide to compete as females, let's forget about swimming. Could you imagine? And Dave Chappelle has a bit on this in his last special about LeBron James competing in the WNBA. And he would score 800 points a game. So if a college athlete decided, I'm going to go play women's basketball.
Well, look how good Rodney Dangerfield's stepson did in Ladybugs.
Yeah.
Like they put a wig on him and he scored all kinds of goals. They were in the championship.
You talk about potentially a female not getting a scholar, a biological female. I don't even know the right terms.
Bro, bottom line, it's unfair.
So
and it can't keep happening.
But they could pursue a career in the WNBA. You know what I mean? If a male transitioned into a female, now they're pursuing career in the WNBA. Is that fair?
No, it's not fair, but they'd be taking way less money.
If being equal is essential, but again, being ranked 462nd doesn't get you in the NBA. You're not making any money.
Right.
But now that if I compete again in the female side of it, I'm elite and potentially make a lot of money.
Well, is she able to compete in the Olympics?
I don't know what the IOC has in place for this. I think they came out with a story on that too. I'd have to look it up. But if being equal is essential, then why do we have the WNBA at all? Why do we have the LPGA? Why do the female golfers hit from a different tee box closer?
Yeah.
Why is a softball field center field fence not 400 feet?
For all the same reasons.
So if we're talking about equality, shouldn't we all play with the same rules? Should we stop all classifications and just have co-ed sports? Why shouldn't men be allowed to hit where the red tees are?
They go out of bounds. Fly the green.
So then why don't they hit back at the white or the blues or the blacks?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean,
those are the rules. I'm not making anything up. These are the rules.
And they're rules for a reason. And
why not give Tiger Woods opportunity to play from the Reds? You smiling? Why are you smiling, Jeff? Because you know why. So people that think this is a bullshit debate, think about it that way.
Yeah.
It has nothing to fucking do with Leah Thomas as much as it has to do with fairness.
It's not the person,
and all the sports. It doesn't matter what sport it is.
Yeah.
And it's up to the NCAA and I don't know who else to figure out how do we make this fair.
I don't know if you have to declare if you're going to be an NCAA athlete.
I think so.
When
I
you
think that's
enroll into school,
where you start.
You have to declare what you are.
I think that's where you start.
Well, when you fill out your application to go to college.
Do they even ask that anymore? Can they ask that now? And they're going to ask you.
Yeah, because you have to identify as one or the other.
I don't know they do that anymore, do they? I know you could even, when you do your emails, they ask you to use.
Dude, when you do like the DMV, it's male or female, right?
I believe so.
So you have to identify what you are. You have to also identify what your ethnicity is, right? For all the minority groups and everything else that they do for all these university statistics that they have to have.
Right.
Okay. So I think that's your first step. When you're enrolling into college, this is what you are. And you mentioned earlier today or yesterday that, well, they should have to sit out just like a transfer. I don't know if I agree with that either, because when at enrollment, if you said this is what you are.
Yeah. Well, if that's the rule, then yes. I'm saying right now, if this was the case, do you treat it like a transfer? If somebody decides, hey, I'm going to transition after the fact, they signed that scholarship and they agreed on the dotted line, and this is what they're, say you make, that's a rule change. You just said they make that rule change, and somebody still decides they're going to change.
You know, Jake, I'm not going to watch my lips on this. I'm really not, okay? Because I think what it comes down to is that, and we've said it a couple of times on here, is that you're afraid to go out and say, you know, we're putting ourselves out there with doing this, right?
I'm trying to be as respectful as possible.
So am I. But there's more on the side of this is not right than it's okay, right?
I mean,
but it's you look like an asshole.
Yeah, that we see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know in other parts of the country what, you know.
But to me, it's the uproar is warranted. 100%. And they say they're going to fix it. I hope they do, because for those that have worked their entire life competing in that arena and to have it stripped from you because of an unfair advantage, that sucks. Yeah. And if it was my kid, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I would be.
And it's not my kid, and I'm pissed.
Well, because you've opened the gate to other things, other sports.
Yeah.
And opportunities for people to profit off this, universities to profit off this.
Individuals to profit off this.
You know, and listen, I don't think they shouldn't have the right to. I just think that something needs to happen. They need to figure out how they're going to regulate this. Or
so you brought this up. So you get where are you dropping the heater at?
I think it stays
where it was
with the NCAA.
Yeah. All right, I agree with that.
And whether it's you've brought the Olympics, the IOC, I think you have to address this.
Are you gonna let her compete in the Olympics?
I think you can't continue to turn your cheek to this.
I think she gets smoked in the Olympics.
Because and so her 100, she finished last. By the end of the week for the national trials or national championships, she finished last. So,
and then it's like, well, does it matter? Yeah, it fucking matters. She just won an NCAA championship.
I mean, 500 is obviously more endurance.
Bro,
a sprint.
I used to swim. I played water polo. 500 it's a lot.
Right, I'm saying the different. She lost in the 100. She finished last in the 100, which is it's a sprint. It's so it's a different race. Where some of those attributes being taller, or those may not always play into the hand of winning. Is what I'm saying. Technique and a good start.
And it helps when you're 6'1".
And a sprint could play a role. The 500's a longer endurance type race where all of those things help you win.
But again, like, go look at the picture of the podium. You mentioned that they
it was on this article.
They didn't look real happy.
My heater's this article, and to the upheld through claims. Like it's the wording. Claims of biological difference. They're not claims. They are biologically different.
They are biologically different, 100%.
Don't say claims.
Right.
And women's sports in particular. What are we talking about? Because you identify as a woman for a year publicly, that you are helping.
It doesn't change your genetics, man.
Elevate. You're not elevating women's athletics. What is she talking about? If I had to drop a heater, it's on this article.
That's fair.
Like these, I'm sorry, but how does it help women's athletics in particular?
It doesn't help at all. If anything, it hurts it.
Well, they're an
because
uproar.
Now are you going to have athletes?
Female
opting
athletes
out?
Are an uproar of this.
Sure, and they should be. Because are you going to opt out? Are you not even going to? If hey, there's no chance that I can win, right? I've been working my whole life, and this is my time. This is my best time. And Leah Thomas comes out and smokes it by 5 seconds. Are you going to be discouraged? Fuck yeah, you're going to be discouraged, right? But you can beat everybody else? Anyway.
If I had to drop a heater, I think our opinion with the NCAA stays the same. When I read this is what irritated me. The language in here.
Yeah, it irritates me too.
Because I don't think it... I don't think it elevates.
There's a lot of folks saying that she doesn't deserve the national championship. I don't think she does either. And if you guys have different takes, let us know. Hit us up on it.
And listen, if you disagree,
do you think
beautiful.
Do you think she deserves it?
To be called the national champion? No.
In the 500. Okay.
No.
So if you guys disagree with us, please, let's have a debate on this, and we'd be happy to do it.
I mean, if I won a home run derby at my son's T-ball game,
you probably would.
Versus all the little kids. Well, yeah, I would make sure to win that shit too. By the way, punk those.
I don't
kids.
know. JD might give you a run, bro.
No,
it'd be a Saldati for sure.
I'm K'ing him up,
but
no free base, no free passes for him. Yeah. Jeff.
Jake, this is episode 13 of Watch Your Lips.
A little longer one today.
Yeah. You can find us at WatchYour_Lips on Twitter and Instagram. We're on all platforms, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and you'll find this video up on YouTube. Thank you again to Mike Conklin for calling in. And
please share it.
Please share it.
Go share it with your friends, whoever.
And guys, we're getting upticks, so it tells me you're sharing it, and we appreciate it. So watch your lips, episode 13.
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.